What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action, sporting in the bottom of the map in the red color, playing as Set. His name is HellsRavage. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Loki. His name is Matreiuss. Loki Matreiuss. Wow, very exciting times here. Arguably Loki's hardest matchup, though. I'm excited. Set versus, actually, when I say arguably Loki's hardest matchup, maybe Ra is harder than Set by just this much. I think it's incredibly close as to, I think both gods have got all the tools they need to make Loki's life a living hell. So let's see what these guys are going to come up with. Matreiuss has been playing a lot of gods not named Poseidon of late. He's been playing Zeus, he's been playing Hades, he's been playing Ra, he's been playing all of it. He's playing all the Norses. I haven't seen him playing Atlantean yet, though. It's going to be a scary day when Matreiuss comes in and is like, wow, man, when I play Atlantean, I can just do so much stuff. Man, Atlantean's really easy. How do people lose with Atlantean? Atlantean's just the best god out there, isn't it? Like Uranus, look at all the speed I've got. So much speed. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. So, we've got an early vision here from Hells. He's gotten himself already an elephant, and this is huge because this is 233 HP of pure defense for this priest to convert all the elephants on the map. And this means, effectively, for Hells, he's got food in his base for days. There's no real need to chase this Wolfsark around. You just kind of sit back here. It's fine. Look at the damage here that's done. So Scrambling has to get back. You just kind of leave the elephant back here on kind of defensive stance in a way. One of the few times when defensive stance is probably actually really useful is in that kind of situation. Or actually, I think there is actually... Is there not a guard hotkey? Is it Control G or Alt G? No. I remember this. I swear there's a way to guard a unit, as this elephant is just about to be converted as well. Though the priest might actually end up falling to Matreiuss's early harassment here with this Wolfsark. Will we see the elephant come through? It's going to be incredibly close. And he does get this elephant in. So 2 elephants the wayside of Hells, and 1 dead priest here as Matreiuss manages to get that snipe there. Very smart to do this actually from Matreiuss. Really, really good. And we'll see exactly what Hells is going to do as a response. If I was Hells, I would 100% rebuild my priest on this map and try and convert some more elephant out here because they're so very, very good. Now, I'm not 100% sure what Hells' plan is with these elephant, but maybe he's just making sure that there's no forward temple getting thrown down or any kind of cheeky shenanigans here. Temple in the base here makes perfect sense from Matreiuss. So... we continue here in this game, and we'll see how it's all going to go. Having an extra 1,000 food just in your base to eat is going to be huge. So a little bit of a win for Hells, a little bit of a win for Matreiuss, nonetheless, as Hells is trying to advance to the next stage. He wanted a 430 there, it seems, but maybe not going to quite be able to afford it. Yes, he will if he just dumps all of his villages. There he goes. It's a little bit later than 430, but it is what it is. You can't win everything. As the hyena is still going to be running around the map, doing all the good stuff. We do see some walls over here. And we do, in fact, see Tar coming through here for Hells. Now, that's part of the reason why Ra and Set are good against Loki is the shifting sands. And you might go, well, what do you use the shifting sands on that's so strong? Well, the answer is actually you just shifting sands enemy Hersa into a box. It's incredibly low IQ, but gigantic amount of value because the Hersa take ages to train. They are high resource cost and relatively low HP. So 130 HP at 120 resources. If you compare it to say a Hippocon, which goes up to 150 HP base HP, which is kind of in a roughly similar category, it means you can actually grab 1 more Hersa than you might actually think. And then the Norse player or the Loki player gets sad. Sad Loki player. So how do you play around that? You don't. You just have to kind of accept that you're going to be losing somewhere in the vicinity of 4 to 5 Hersa to a shifting sands. That's why Ra and Set are so strong here. And we are, in fact, seeing a very fast second town center coming up here for Hells. And Matreiuss has got to see this and be like, well, I can't really do anything, so what am I going to do myself? And it's looking like he's going to go for his own second town center in the middle of the map, which is actually an incredibly dangerous play here in the early game. He does not have his barracks up. He does not have his, he does not have anything except for a temple here. The town center is going to take a very long time to build. And that shifting sands, if he spots it, is going to be disastrous, because every single one of those units are going to come into the main base and you're going to be in a lot of trouble here. We'll see if Hells notices it or not is actually the big question here. Obviously, Matreiuss, he will drop heavily on score once he starts producing. You can see Matreiuss at 605 score here, and he will go down to 539. So Hells has got to ask himself, is this a heroic age or is this a second town center? And we know it's a second town center, but Hells might not have actually noticed that, and maybe Matreiuss gets away with a little bit here. So we will see exactly what happens, as Hells is simply going to start just making Axemen. Part of the problem with Loki is the fact that Loki is a very one-dimensional god, in that I want to make Ursa. It's my big bonus is Ursa. And then you say, well, if your big bonus is Ursa and you want to make Ursa, I have to counter Ursa, and I can do that by making Axemen. So it's very easy to hard counter Loki from the get-go. But that then also means that you can do some metagaming here and go in with early cavalry against the Axemen and deal with those somewhat nicely. So there is that. But we'll see what Matreiuss is going to come up with in this game, and it is seemingly looking like Matreiuss manages to get his own second town center up without any of that early pressure that you normally see from Set, and we get to see a fairly equal game here, with Set not getting his early game advantage. So maybe, just maybe, Matreiuss is going to have a fun time this game. Maybe, just maybe. Maybe, just maybe. As we see villagers coming forward, Oxcart's getting produced. Hell's probably thinking about going to the heroic age himself. Armory coming up. Do we have ourselves a pickaxe just yet? No pickaxe, but he's got his villagers on wood ready to do that. We do see the hearse over here picking off that hyena of Set. We do not have any more priests currently being produced. I would have loved to have seen that extra priest get produced in order to potentially steal away some of these hippo, maybe some of these zebra, lions, all that stuff at the top corner of the map here. Continuously using those priests to convert animals throughout the game is really, really strong. Zebra up here that you don't really want to walk to and eat those. There's actually so much stuff that Set can actually do throughout the game to get himself more and more of an edge. So still seeing Matreiuss building units here, as he is deciding he's going to stay in the classical age. He's making himself raiding cavalry Hersa, which is kind of the standard counter to Axemen, is you just mix in some raiding cavalry and kind of hope that you can out micro your opponent in those fights. But honestly, I would just not make Hersa anymore against Set, who's making Axemen, because they just do so much damage. Look at this. They do 300% bonus damage against Hersa, which means they're effectively getting themselves, is it 3? Is it 3 flaming weapons every single time? Effectively, every single time they fight a Hersa, hit a Hersa. So they're doing like 20 damage to a Hersa. Is that right? It seems like a lot. That's probably because it is a lot. As now we see the army going to be trying to push in here. The raiding cavalry turn around, going to actually snipe down a Axeman or two. Now, all that being said, Hersa do have a huge amount of value in killing off a building, for example. So you can just utilize them to try and take down buildings and ignore the Set army as much as you can. As we see another temple coming down, I'm sure that Hells is going to be on his way to the next age, and he is deciding to go through Nephthys. Unfortunately, we haven't seen a lot of usage of Sekhmet ever with Set. Sekhmet doesn't seem to have a lot of value. The idea of shifting sands and scarabs comes to mind, but to be honest, you 100% need funeral rites in this matchup, so you cannot go anything but Nephthys. It's just part of the god's kit. Like if Sekhmet gave some sort of damage towards myth units as well, then you could possibly consider Sekhmet here. But without that, sad. I mean, if you go second Osiris, same with Ra in this matchup, yeah, it can make some sense as well, because you get the Citadel, you get the extra population, you live the Drain, but then you don't have the Rock for your Son of Osiris, so you have to be good at the game, unlike most people, including myself. So there's that. So Netflix has hit here. Matreiuss now in the middle of the map here on top of those hippopotamus, doing everything he can to continue production here, as now we see the army going to be flooding in onto this position here, going after that Pharaoh, going after those villagers. The villagers turning around, starting to shank. Obviously, this is an attempt at forcing a defensive ancestor here, but Hells has already got himself a whole bunch of units out. He's got himself the medium Axemen here, and I mean, Axemen, while I say raiding cavalry are the counter to throwing Axemen, they kind of aren't really, because Axemen have got 40% hack armor for whatever reason. I mean, they're counter infantry, obviously, but 40% hack armor. So they just don't die. They don't die. You need effectively like heavy cavalry in order to deal with them. Once you get heavy cavalry, things start going that way. So I think that arguably throwing action have got too much hack armor. Maybe, just maybe. Anyways, that could be just me. Nidor Stronghold coming up now for HellsRavage, doing all of his good stuff as he's trying to hold on here as best as he can. But Matreiuss is just throwing away units here. Yes, his economy is continuing to increase, but he's throwing away units, and that's going to allow Hells kind of everything he wants. And Hells is going to be able to hit a very, very brutal Mythic Age timing here. I would say he's got himself an incredibly strong army thus far. He's going to be making Chariot Archers to boot behind this, and Egyptian versus Norse. In reality, when this army gets to this level, if Axemen, Chariot Archer, we saw with a recent game with Axemen of Hells, Axemen, Chariot Archer, Mummy, completely decimating a Norse army. You obviously don't get mummies here as set, but I mean, once you get to this army composition, it can be very, very tough for a Norse player to get any advantage at all without those Ballister Fire Giant kind of shenanigans. But in this matchup, Ballister Fire Giant's very, very strong because there is actually no counter. Normally you can kind of go mummy in a way, and you can soft counter that, or not soft counter, hard counter in a way, but soft counter as well, because the mummies can get sniped down by the Ballister as well. So you could pick up a Fire Giant, you lose a mummy, etc., etc. Now we see the raiding cavalry swinging around the back here from Matreiuss, able to catch these guys out here. I would actually like to see this Longhouse deleted to kill off even more of this. No ancestors getting thrown down here, and this is actually a really, really good fight here for Matreiuss, as a delayed ancestors getting thrown down, as Hells is realizing he probably needs the extra oomph here, and in the end it's seemingly looking like the army of Matreiuss gets pushed back, and that is absolutely huge for HellsRavage here, as he's able to take down these longhouses, take down everything else. You see the siege tower now rolling in for Hells, going to try and take down the town center as the army coming down, or coming through for Hells. He's completely running over Matreiuss in this game. 130 population. Matreiuss is at 100 population. He's on top of these elephant in the back, on top of this large gold mine, and we see Hells taking none of that as the Scorpion Man just walks straight by. In fact, going straight up to this gold mine here instead of this one. Bit interesting to see that choice there, as we do see even more villagers making their way up here. Matreiuss still trying to pump out these raiding cavalry here as best as he can in order to defend, but it's just such a tough life here as a Norse player against Egyptian. I think one thing that you could definitely consider here to really assist you in the classical age is hack armor. If you get yourself copper mail, bronze mail in the classical age, if you realize you're going to be stuck in the classical age, kind of like Matreiuss is, then the Axemen might fall off quite a bit because all your units will get up to like 40% hack armor, and then they're going to do like no damage at all. As an idea, as we see over here, these units getting taken down. We see the relics have kind of been left here. 40%. Pick Malin statue. Pick that relic up, please. It's very good. And we also see over here the System of Bast, also a decent relic to be picked up with 5 food reduction on those villagers. And now Matreiuss is just about to be able to pick up to the next age, and he's held on fairly valiantly here in this game. He does manage to get himself an Iron Hear spawn here as well as this game's been continued, but losing all of that infrastructure right now, all of those longhouses, is incredibly brutal. He's trying to throw up some more in the back here. It might be worth it for Matreiuss to simply just pull back and allow Hells to just clean up all of his buildings here, as Matreiuss is kind of all over the map with his villagers retreating away over here. We do see Bragi's got a choice, but Matreiuss has got no units in the back. He does have in the back here one temple, more longhouses getting thrown up here as Matreiuss is trying his darnest to get out as many cavalry as he possibly can to deal with the army, which Hells has assembled here. Now, if your opponent is making medium spearman chariot archer, a lot of people might think, oh, better be making throwing axemen here, but really, no, you gotta kind of stick in maybe Ulfsark or more Herser, because the spearmen actually they're decent units, but they're kind of sucky against anything not named cavalry unless they get their Horus upgrades. You see over here, these chariot archers actually managed to pick off those raiding cavalry as well. Matreiuss still only at 99 population, has 100 favor in the back, ready to make those battle balls. But I'm sure as soon as Hells sees that heroic age, we'll start to see funeral rites, priests coming through. We've already got them probably. We've already got them. We've got funeral rites. We've got Hands of the Pharaoh as well, getting that extra range on the priests. And now Hells is going to continue pushing through 145 population. He has 3 town centers in this game as Matreiuss now. He's got a lot of resources in the bank to spend, but no time to spend them. He needs to be making like hill forts, more longhouses, and all that other stuff. He's running out of food. There's no real food left on the map. It's a Valkyrie spawn. We'll see how much that's going to help him. As the Migdol on the front helps out a ton, but it is currently targeting down the town center here, so helps out a little bit, not really a ton at this point, kind of nothing. But now the siege tower able to start taking down the town center here of Matreiuss, as Hells is still sitting at full population to Matreiuss 117. Matreiuss getting close to pop here. He does manage to click out flaming weapons here, but really not that many units. We see a shifting sands onto from there over here, a bit of a weird shifting sands, but he does cast it nonetheless. The siege tower does go down, but these war elephants continuing to put pressure on here. We do see the Herser going straight after that Pharaoh. The Pharaoh going to be making a run for the Migdol stronghold. Does manage to get in there, going to continue dealing all of that gigantic amount of damage onto the myth units here, as the town center is now at 70 HP, 30 HP. Just a few more attacks and it will go down here. We are starting to see one Herser repairing this one back up as more battleable are coming through. The Pharaoh has been taken down. More priests getting built now by Hells in order to deal with this battle ball onslaught. The town center is down. 20 HP, still getting repaired. 11 HP, 1 HP, and it does end up falling here, as now Matreiuss will drop down to 115 pop. So lots of resources in the bank for Matreiuss, but Hells has just got full population, full aggression here. He's even got fortified towns and is throwing up a dock over here to make sure he's being nice and defensive against potential siege ship timings. The battle ball are all going to start falling to the massive amounts of priests that Hells has managed to make here. And given that he's basically only able to make battle ball and raiding cavalry here based on the enemy army, probably could be making some Ulfsark or some Herser now instead, because there's no Axemen remaining. But that's a big problem now for Matreiuss to overcome. We'll see what he's going to do. He does have the option of potentially getting up to the mythic age here. Nidhogg could be a way back into this. Thimblewinter could be a way back into this. But Hells is simply just going, nah, going to get that third town center, secure the map here. Very HellsRavage-esque. You know what I would prefer here? I prefer that mythic age. But in this moment, Matreiuss does decide to tap out. An incredibly close one here. Given watching this game and kind of understanding a little bit about how hard this matchup is for Loki, it makes me wonder how much value those copper mail and bronze mail upgrades are going to be able to give to the Norse player in those early game classical army fights. And given that I think that it's probably going to be an incredibly value, maybe that is the element there that is missing for Norse players in this matchup, is utilizing, I mean, obviously Loki doesn't have that. What I'm about to say, Loki doesn't have that, but utilizing the pig sticker or the unique Odin hunting bonus, get all that extra food, and instead of investing it into things like army or random tech, invest it into your copper shields, into your bronze shields before you start fighting those Axemen with your raiding cavalry. And you'll start finding the victories that you find later in the game when you're starting to see heavy raiders, because heavy raiders is effectively, you getting yourself an extra 16.8 HP with an extra attack damage, but mostly the HP is what matters. It's effective HP, right? So if you get earlier, you get copper shields and copper mail, bronze mail, then you get that heavy raider in the classical age, and that can be a big deal. Maybe not enough to level the match up, but a nice try here from Matreiuss. I think that he did have enough resources in a way, but this ends up happening quite a lot to Norse players. And if he could have had some units to just continue building back and have just like a whole, just basically spam all of his wood into longhouses, then maybe he can continue here. I don't know. It's a difficult one. You can't be losing military buildings in any matchup, but in this matchup seems to be more of a prevalent issue. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next game.